Everybody, welcome to another On the Pennsylvania Road episode. I am All Things T-Cat, and today we're at a familiar place. Not the first time I've been here. We're at the Slatington Marketplace. It's a place where they have a lot of wonderful antiques, and I generally like to come up here periodically just to walk around. For nothing else, just the enjoyment of walking around and seeing all the different things that they have to offer. It's a very, very large antique market, and so we're gonna look around. Who knows, I might even find a treasure or two, but I want you to come along with me. And if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. I'm a variety channel, so if antiques happen to be your thing, you're gonna love this video, but I also do more than just antiques. So if variety is something that appeals to you, hit that subscribe button. Let's go inside and see what awaits us. I have a tag on or a price, but I'm going to assume that it is a letter opener. Although I guess one could use it as a weapon. Looks like a short dagger. But I'm quite certain that the purpose of this is for opening letters. Buying die-cast cars at places like this is usually the vendor has to inflate the price to make a profit, and you could probably find this for $1. The vendors usually end up paying a rental fee. It could be weekly, it could be monthly. I think it's mostly monthly, and then sometimes these places also charge a commission for whatever's sold. So for $3, if it's 10%, the business would get 30 cents of that. So in essence, the vendor would make $2.70 on that sale. So that's why I tend, unless it's the loose cars that I could find for 50 cents or $1, I generally do not buy them packaged, because you will end up paying a lot more. Unless, and I will say the exception is unless it's something I really, really want or have difficulty obtaining or finding, then I might go ahead and pay what that vendor's asking. Here we see a really nice example of an old Zenith radio. It's a console radio, and according to the vendor, it does work. $550. One's imagination can only go back to the 1930s and 40s, and just imagine what came over that radio, the news, FDR's address to the nation after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and all of those radio shows like the Green Hornet and the Shadow. That was your television back in the day. That's how people received their news and were entertained before the invention of the television. This is a Civil War drum, or so it's being represented as a Civil War drum. The price is $1,200. That's actually a very pretty, I'm going to assume, wedding dress. And it's just gorgeous. Well, the vintage mannequin is $275 firm. I don't know if the dress comes with it or not, but the mannequin is $275. But that dress and hat, very, very pretty, very elegant. Now this is a M1. It'll be like a World War II, Korean War period helmet. It appears that someone had repainted this, as you can see under the shell. It might be some kind of primer, and that is a new shell and headband. My guess is a real helmet, but it's been refurbished, possibly by a World War II reenactor who no longer has a need for it, or had a need for it and sold it. The helmet does appear to be original. You can tell by the chin straps. But as I said, the liner is new, and it you could see evidence where it had been repainted. $50 is not a bad price for it. As I said, no doubt it is an original M1, probably military surplus, but it is the type they would have worn in World War II in Korea. Now, this is something I have never seen. A coal cracker football helmet. Now, I don't know, maybe that was the nickname of some high school around here. I was familiar with most high school nicknames, football team nicknames, and I've never heard of the coal crackers. But that's what they call people from the anthracite region of Pennsylvania, coal crackers, because most people made their living by mining anthracite coal that was prevalent in the region. And if you're a sports fan, $25 for a coal cracker helmet. It's not a bad price. I'm not into collecting football helmets, but if I were, just because of the name, I would have purchased collecting truck, tractor, trailers. He's got some nice ones here. This McDonald's he's asking $79 for. Unbelievable. The Bloomington Gold is $10. This one here is $39. Ben & Jerry's, you can see $39. Pretty nice piece of police history right there. Wilmington, Delaware Police. It looks like that person has collected various badges over the different periods that the Wilmington Police were in existence. And there we see name tag Mazik. Now, I don't know if he's the guy that owned all this or if the vendor or whoever put this together had collected that name tag from somebody. That key would usually open up a box back in the day when they had phones that you could call in back to headquarters or traffic signals. And of course, we see a whistle there. The asking price on that is $275. There's a pretty nice replica of a Roman soldier's helmet. And I can tell you, I tried it on, and it is heavy. $99. It's kind of cool. The thing about this place is it doesn't have central air, and on very hot and humid days like you have today, it can get very, very uncomfortable in here. So if you're in Slatington, Pennsylvania, and you do decide to stop in on a warm day, just keep in mind it doesn't have central air. So you find yourself one of these, stand in front of it for a little bit, just to cool down. I almost hate to leave it, but I have to. This used to be a popular gasoline service station, and they were bought out, so they no longer exist. But when they did, they used to have these promotional toys that were very popular as Christmas presents, and they'd come out with a lot of different things. Fire trucks and tanker trucks and helicopters, and here's a few of them that are being offered for sale. They're very common. You find them in almost every antique store that you go into. So they're not difficult to find. Therefore, they should be relatively inexpensive if you're a collector of the Hess's trucks. Some more Hess's. They also sold them in miniatures. This is from 2003. $10. The fire engine is $9. So you see, there's no shortage of them. Something you don't see very much. It's a vintage Schwinn bicycle. And there's your back seat for taking your baby along if you wanted to go out for a ride. But what really makes this unique is this was your odometer and your speedometer. Now they're digital, and these were your gear shifters. I'm not sure how many gears you had with this. Might be 5. I don't know. But yeah, you can see how we've evolved from this to the current day bicycles. The asking price on this is $275. If you like collecting tinnies, there's some cute ones right here. The North Pole delivery, the candy cane wheels, the fire engine, snowflake railways. That's really cute. This particular one is $10, and I believe it held. You would give it as a Christmas gift, and it probably held candy inside there, is my guess. And then you could use it for a Christmas decoration. This is cute. It's from December 1943. So December 7th was on a Tuesday that year. But what I like about this is the porter checking underneath the bed and the kitten's fast asleep. And clearly it's a serviceman's car. Because we see the visor cap there of an enlisted army man. That's pretty neat. It was put out by the Chesapeake and Ohio lines. Very nice wooden paddle boat, type you would have found on the James River and the Mississippi River, 1840s, 50s, during the Civil War. And we see Mississippi River boat. That's exactly what it is. Made of wood. And the price on that is $75 firm. Looks to be in good condition. Now here's something you don't see very often. A giant bloody spider for $200. I wonder if that was a couple of its victims right there. Well, it's never too early for a Halloween vibe, huh? And that reminds me so much of Salem. Salem, Massachusetts. Yeah, I love this gothic, spooky stuff. Edgar Allan Poe, huh? The Raven, nevermore, nevermore. Halloween isn't that far off, believe it or not, folks. It's coming up really quick. Well, we're going to wrap up our day here at the Slatington Marketplace. I did come out with a couple cool things. I think, all in all, it was about $26 and some cents. We'll do a video on that separately. But thanks for browsing along with me. We'll catch you on another video. Till then, this is T-Cat, or all things T-Cat, saying stay well, enjoy what's left of the weekend, and we'll see you soon with another video. Bye-bye.